If you don't eventually ever jump, you're never gonna know what's on the other side. You need to just start. You need to start whatever it is that you wanna do. Stop giving yourself excuses. Stop saying, tomorrow I'm gonna do it, the next day I'm gonna do it. You're never gonna do it. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pamela and today we're going to be talking all about how to stop sitting still, how to really tap into your full potential, how to stop leaving things on the table and really go after the dream life it is that you want, accomplish everything it is that you have in your mind and in your heart. And as you guys know, what I've been saying in my last few videos is that 2025 is so soon. It really is in less than a week, and I want you guys to go into the new year with as many tips and pieces of advice as I can to truly make it an amazing year, not just because of everything it is that you are going to accomplish, but because things take time, and the sooner you start, the sooner you really just start taking action on whatever it is that you want to accomplish and whatever it is that you want to do, the further along you are going to be. So today we're going to be talking all about how to stop sitting still, really go in on any of that potential it is that you have, and let's get started. I was really inspired to make this video because I saw this TikTok from this creator named Life of Leisha, and she basically said every moment you sit still, you're stealing from your future self. And I have my iPad here, so I'm just reading my notes, and that really inspired me to make this video because I feel like so many people that I know and also people online and people that message me always come to me with the same question of, I have all these things I want to do, I don't really know where to start, how did you get started, what are some tips, what are some pieces of advice that you can give me? And the thing is that everybody's journey is so different, which is why tip number one is you need to identify your future self's vision. So you need to know where it is that you want to go, what direction it is that you want to potentially go. And I understand that things can change, your journey or your path or whatever route it is that you want to go down can always change, because that's the beauty in life, is that we never really know what to do, like what is the right decision until we actually go out and take that action. There were so many things that I was doing in college that I thought, I'm doing this now because after college I'm gonna have a full-time job, I'm gonna be doing this and doing all of these things, and the way that life completely took a 180 and just took a completely different turn from what I thought was gonna happen, there is nothing wrong with that. And so you just have to take what life throws at you, but you have to also understand, like, what is it that you want? What is the end goal that you know you want? Whether it is financial freedom, or whether it is living in a certain area, or acquiring a certain skill, whatever it is, try to understand that vision. And a way to do this is by also writing a letter to your future self and describe that life it is that you see, that you envision, that you potentially want within the next few years, and use this as a vision to figure out what daily actions, what are your daily decisions that you have to make to become and embody that future self. An example for me is I always knew I wanted to be a content creator. I always knew that I wanted to have some sort of business and just do anything related to social media. And so what did I do? When I was a senior in high school, I started making content. I started on Instagram, then TikTok, now I'm on YouTube. I have a blog as well, and over time I was learning all of these different skills. I was doing internships, I was doing part-time jobs, and I was trying to just learn and be a sponge of life as much as I can and just try to acquire as much as I can. And that really helped me because I took those little steps a few years ago that I am now in a place where I am a full-time content creator. I have my own business. I am working every single day with a bunch of different brands, and I truly am living and embodying my dream life because I started all of those years ago. But no one sees the little moments in the everyday, the little steps that I took. And so it is really important for you to identify that. And again, life and dreams and all of the things that we want can eventually change, but know your values. What are your morals? Like, what are the things it is that you really value, that you want out of this life, and try to go based off of that. Number two is set your daily non-negotiables. I love this, and I actually talk about this over on my TikTok, but having your non-negotiables, having the things that you do every single day that you live by, I think is really, really great to help you stay on track of whatever it is that you want. I know for me, one of my daily non-negotiables is getting some form of movement, some form of exercise, journaling, reading, posting at least one thing on TikTok or on social media every single day, and I really try to keep up those habits and do it every single day. The reason why it's so important to have these daily non-negotiables is because that is the way that you can make those small, consistent actions lead into bigger results over time. Like I told you guys, all of those years ago when I was starting content creation, when I was starting social media, I did not know what the end was going to look like. I just knew that if I start now, what can happen in a few years? What can life bring to me? What can I make out of life over these next few years if I just keep up and I stay consistent? And that's exactly what I did. Those small little steps eventually led me to something bigger, and now I've worked with my dream brands. I've had all of these amazing opportunities because the small little things that I've done over the years have honestly been adding up. You can create a daily checklist with some small tasks that align with your goals, and you can do this for a few minutes at the beginning of every day. You can even do this at nighttime. I personally like to do it at night. I open up Asana and I create this little task called day schedule, and in there I will write out morning, afternoon, evening, and I break down my day into 3 different sections. What are my tasks, the things that I have to do in the morning, what do I have to do in the afternoon, and then what do I have to do in the evening? And by breaking it down into the 3 different sections of the day, I'm giving myself different priorities for different portions of the day, and I try to make sure that I get it all done. If I don't, no biggie, I just move it into the next day, but make sure that you are adding into those little to-dos for the day the main things that really matter to you, the main non-negotiables. Like for example, if you are on your exercise or health or wellness journey, maybe put in a little portion of trying to get movement throughout the day. Maybe if you want to read more and you have a bunch of books on your bookshelf, or you want to get back into reading, try to incorporate 15 or 20 minutes of reading every single day. Maybe you want to journal. Maybe you even want to be less on social media, so you incorporate an hour of no technology time. Whatever it is, and whatever we talked about in tip number 1 that is important to you, try to incorporate little things in your everyday that can follow up with everything we talked about in your big goals, the big end all be all of what it is that you want to accomplish. Tip 3 is break your really big goals into micro steps. This is a really big portion of procrastination, is looking at a big task and being overwhelmed by it. Looking at a really big goal or looking at a really big dream and thinking, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. What do I even do? And again, that is the beauty in life, is that you really don't know what is the right step, but you never know if you don't at least take a step in general. Looking at these really big overwhelming tasks, that can actually lead you to procrastination. I used to think that because I wrote down 25 different things that I had to get done in a day, that made me the most productive person in the world. When in reality, it was the complete opposite. By looking at a really big to-do list, it actually made me even more lazy because it was so overwhelming that I didn't even know what to do. And so that's why I started doing the morning, afternoon, evening task breakdown. I started putting my goals and the things that I had to do for the day into different portions of the day. It made it a lot less scary for me, and I actually started accomplishing everything, and I actually started having more productive days because of that. So you can do this by taking a really big goal or a really big thing it is that you have to get done and breaking it down into smaller things. So for example, if you want to start a business, if you want to be a YouTuber, whatever it is, break it down into a few days during the week. Maybe Monday you can start off by just watching some videos, doing research on whatever topic it is that you want. Maybe the next day you can read some articles. The next day you can write down like a really big brain dump of all the things it is that you're thinking, all the things you've been learning. Maybe the 4th day you could start looking at some books you could potentially get. Whatever it is that you want to do, take that really big thing, grab a notebook, open up a Google Doc, do whatever it is that you can to just break down this really big thing into smaller things. There are so many worksheets and printables and things on Pinterest, and just worksheets in general you can find online that can really be helpful when it comes to breaking down something really big. Like I told you guys, that is a really big problem of the whole sitting still thing, of the procrastination, of the sitting on wasted potential, is that we look at these really big goals or these really big tasks and we get scared because we're like, I don't know if I can do this. Like for me, I always knew I wanted to be a content creator and a business owner, and that sounds so intimidating because it's like, how are you going to manage all of these things at once? Working with brands and working with clients, trying to reach out to companies and work with them. Like, it was really daunting, but by breaking it down into different days, by breaking it down into smaller micro steps, it made everything a lot less scary. Number 4 is replace your passive habits with active ones. So if you notice that it has been a while that you've been scrolling on social media, if you notice that you have kind of just been sitting around not really doing anything, but you want to be a little bit more active and you want to be a little bit more productive, immediately recognize when you are having one of those moments and try to replace it with something a little bit more active. Like for example, I know when I have been on Instagram or TikTok a little bit too long, I immediately recognize that, and then I'm like, okay, I need to swap this time out right now to go and grab a book from my bookshelf. I need to go and grab my Kindle. Maybe I need to put on a motivational or inspiring YouTube video and really just switch the tone up, switch the energy up, bring things back up, because sometimes it can be hard to go from that lazy, more chill moment into immediately being active. And that's why I also want to give you guys a preference to say, just because you are laying down, just because you're chilling and relaxing does not mean you immediately need to go and do something active, because also you deserve your chill moments. You deserve to have those moments where you just lay down and you don't do anything and to not feel guilty about it. But it has to be a healthy balance. You need to know the difference between, okay, I'm gonna chill on my phone for an hour because I've been doing work all day, versus I'm gonna keep being on social media, or I'm gonna keep doing this lazy thing or whatever every single hour because I just feel like it. There has to be a really good balance. I know for me, I like to wait till lunchtime to really do a little social media scroll, see if any brands tag me in anything, and then later in the day, more towards nighttime, I will go on TikTok a little bit. I'll see what my mutuals have been up to, commenting on some videos, checking things out. That is when I really like to focus more on social media, because during the day, during the morning, when time really is just so precious and you really just want to get as much as you can done, that is when I feel like you should be getting the most things off of your to-do list. Sometimes there's nights where I feel so productive and I'm like, I can get a million things done. Like, I totally get that. But personally, I just feel like when you get things done first thing in the morning or first thing in the afternoon, you build that momentum for the rest of the day. So to wrap all this up, try to replace those moments where things are going a little bit slower with something a little bit more active. You're gonna build up that momentum again. You're going to be a lot more productive, and also it just makes you feel good, because I know we all don't really feel the best when we're just scrolling or we're just doing things and we don't really feel like we're getting anything out of it. Recognizing these moments and swapping them out, that is a huge key to turning that passive habit into now being a little bit more productive. Number 5 is practice self-discipline daily. Discipline is always going to be there when motivation isn't, because if I'm being honest, and just like what many people say, motivation is not always going to be there. We are not always going to want to get up and go to the gym. We're not always going to want to put the phone down and grab a book. There are so many things that we don't want to do, but we do it anyway. And the thing is that as you build this discipline over time, it is going to become like a new muscle. It's going to be like a new reflex of, I'm just going to get up today because I'm going to the gym. It's just going to become part of your routine. It's going to be a new habit that you're going to build, and you're just going to start doing it automatically. But if you look at it with a negative outlook, with a negative mindset, you are not going to enjoy it. Like, for example, working out is a really big one for me. I did not like to work out. I did not like the gym. I just got so self-conscious there. I didn't want to see anyone that I went to school with there, and I was just like, I'm not going to work out at all, because I always felt like the gym was the only option. But then when I got older, started making a little bit extra money, I was like, okay, maybe I can go to a studio, maybe I can do a membership somewhere. And that was when my sister and I discovered Cycle Bar, and we realized we love cardio, we love community classes. We don't just like to show up at a gym and do a workout for 30 minutes and we're like, okay, and we don't even feel like we actually got a good workout in. We love Cycle Bar because of that, because of the community, because we get to show up to a class and the playlist is on and the instructor tells us what to do. Everyone has different methods for whatever it is that they like, and when we discovered that, it made things so much easier for us. And so building discipline and all those kinds of things, you have to personalize your routine for whatever it is that you want to do, because you need to actually enjoy it. You shouldn't just force yourself to do something, because like I said, it builds that negative mindset and you're not actually going to want to do it. So try to commit every day to doing one hard thing and see where it can take you. Maybe even do this for a week. Challenge yourself for a week. Give yourself a challenge of, okay, every single day this week, I'm going to do one hard thing every day, something that I don't really want to do. Whether it is working out 7 days in a row, whether it is picking up a new book and trying to finish it in a week, whatever it is, try to challenge yourself for a week and see where you can go. Even extend it out to 2 weeks, see how far you can take this, and try to see if that discipline is built. It's not going to be built overnight, because like they say, Rome wasn't built in a day, but it can take time. And like I told you guys with the social media example, things take years to build. Things take years in the back end and in the background to be built up eventually over time to be that thing it is, that to be that really big thing it is in the end. And so it's the same thing with working out. You're not going to see results in a day. You're not going to see results overnight. Same thing with followers. You're not going to see 1,000 followers in an hour just from posting one TikTok. So really try to build on that discipline. Do one thing every day it is that is a little bit hard, but you are going to be so proud of yourself at the end of the day for doing it. And lastly, number 6, hold yourself accountable. So by holding yourself accountable, this is what is going to keep you on track and help push you past your excuses. So like I mentioned in the previous tip, doing something challenging every single day that you may not want to do can really be helpful, but also holding yourself accountable and actually making yourself take action can be really helpful for whatever it is that you want to accomplish, which we talked about in tip number 1. You can even do this by sharing your goals online or sharing it with friends or a mentor, and maybe even doing daily or weekly check-ins with yourself or with somebody else. I personally love to do things specifically with my sister, whether it is working out or we want to start a book club so that we can start reading more, or whether it is going on walks. Whatever it is, I love to do things with my sister because it's just a little bit more fun. Like, I personally love to do things with someone else, but if you don't have that, you can also do the journal check-ins. You can also grab a journal or a calendar and try to do the check-ins on there with yourself. You can also do this online. I see a lot of people that like to document their journeys for certain things and certain personal things it is that they're going through. They like to do it online, whether it is a health and wellness journey, or maybe they want to try to practice cooking or whatever it is. Holding yourself accountable in little ways can be very, very helpful to really go and use your full potential on whatever it is that you want to do. Because I'm telling you guys, like I said in the beginning of this video, I get so many messages, I get so many people that ask me, how can I start this? Like, what are some tips? What are some things? And the number one thing that I always say to everybody is you need to just start. You need to start whatever it is that you want to do. Stop giving yourself excuses. Stop saying, tomorrow I'm going to do it, the next day I'm going to do it. You're never going to do it. You have to hold yourself accountable, and you have to actually say, change starts today. And change starts with yourself. So if you don't give yourself that push, if you don't eventually ever jump, you're never going to know what's on the other side. And so I really, really hope that you guys take some good tips from this video and try to apply it into your own life. I really, really hope that you guys are inspired to hopefully stop wasting any potential that you have on the table and really just take it all and go after your goals and dreams and everything it is that you want. That is all for today's video. I really, really hope that you guys enjoyed. This was a very fun one to make. And again, shout out to the creator Life of Leisha, who made that video that really inspired me to make this YouTube video, because I'm telling you guys, there is so much potential that we have. There is so much that we can do and put out in this world, but our minds and what we think and our mindsets can really stop us from doing that. And I just think we shouldn't let that happen anymore. We should really just go after the things it is that we want. We should stop letting the opinions of others stop us from doing whatever it is that we want to do, because we only have one life. So it's like, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to go after your dreams and goals, or are you going to keep letting people and your excuses and your mindset keep you from accomplishing everything it is that you want? So I'll see you guys in my next video. Love all of you guys, and make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.